For 3 years, EU Fortnite has been pure chaos.
Grand finals was absolute cinema.
No kings, no dynasties, just heartbreak, redemption, shocking upsets, and major plot twists. And Major 2 might have been the craziest yet.
Over on EU, we had again a super close finish.
No single team or player has been able to dominate like NA's greats. Instead, we've watched legends rise and fall, shocking upsets rewrite history, and countries like Denmark, one of Fortnite's strongest nations, stuck with a brutal curse. Many close calls, but never a win. Major 2 was perhaps the most epic embodiment of this chaos. Here's the story of the chaotic grands that shook a region. Why was the FNCS special? Quite simply, it was packed with insane storylines. Basically, every top team had something crazy going on. Let's go through each.
I think this grand finals really showed us some of the people that are the future of EU.
Veteran players had a lot on the line. Thomas HD was looking to bounce back after missing his first grand since 2020.
It's Thomas HD. This is what he does.
Tayson was trying to regain his form after missing LAN in 2024, although his comeback had some skepticism.
My main fear here is that if Tayson starts to do poorly, is the mentality just gone for the rest of the days.
Cammy and Seti were in a potential last dance after a horrible Major 1 where they finished 21st.
Last season they were contested, they didn't do great.
With Cammy and Seti's decline, Poland had put its hopes in a new team, Pixx, Darm, and Demus, who placed 5th in Major 1 and showed no signs of slowing down, winning the final divisional cup in lead up to grand finals.
They obviously had an unreal season last season, right?
And now people are expecting them to top that.
While this tournament did not have a clear favorite, Merstach, Swizzy, and Queasy were as close as there was.
Most people are coming into the finals saying, these are our favorites, this is the best team in the lobby.
After finishing 4th in Major 1 while contested, they were uncontested going into Major 2, and got off to an insanely hot start.
You've got to be excited about Queasy's trio.
Queasy putting on an IGL masterclass as they dominated the first divisional cup.
We can't be talking about the FNCS major finals without talking about the GOAT IGL, the greatest mind the Fortnite community has ever seen, Queasy.
Heavily playing Storm, with Queasy claiming the meta had clicked for him.
I think we figured out the meta way better than other people did.
But despite their initial success, competition was extremely stiff this season. There were some real wagons. Not much was expected of Malibuca, Pingz, and Wox in Major 1. They needed the last chance qualifier after all. But on the back of god tier consistency, they managed 2nd place and a spot in globals.
Whereas these guys are just like that boring team that's called for globals. They have one of the best spots in the game, so they just kind of just get along through the season, right? I still think this team is going to be way up there in the leaderboards. I'm not too worried about them at all.
But there was hope that Major 2 could be even better, because they appeared to have locked up the season's best spot, Lone Wolf Lair. Vico, Veno, and Flickzy were defending champions, and seemed as good a chance as any to repeat. But this season, they speedran basically every drop spot on the map, starting with one of the season's new spots, Crime City, followed by a move to Masked Meadows, where they were contested by a newly formed trio, Chino, Pablo Wingu, and Fredoxy, who were surprisingly effective, and had no fear of Veno, Vico, and Flickzy. Not wanting to completely squander their title defense, they moved again.
What?
Flirting with the season's other tier 1 drop spot, Lone Wolf Lair. Then a mountain split in the south of the map, but the day before the grand finals, he promised chaos.
You know, I've spoken to Veno today, I've spoken to Raz today. They've cooked.
As mentioned, Pablo, Fredoxy, and Chino were the team most responsible for the chaos of Veno's season, but they are one of the weirdest teams to excel in the region's history. Chino would be playing in just his 4th grand finals, and was coming off his best ever placement in Major 1, a 12th. Fredoxy was a definitive journeyman, playing his first grand finals in Stark season, which was 2020, but played in just 4 grand finals since then, becoming more well known as an off-spawn specialist. Pablo Wingo was by far the most consistent of the 3, playing in 13 grand finals his best placement being a 6th.
Pablo still doing work here against Pixxy and Walk.
Despite a strong start to the season, they had to qualify through the last chance qualifier, which had diluted some of their hype. But the most important detail wasn't just the players, it was the flag they played under. Denmark, the country we called Fortnite's most cursed nation. For years, Denmark had been home to some of Europe's best talent, players who could go toe-to-toe with anyone in the world. They had nearly 10 top 3 finishes over 5 second places, always painfully close, always in the fight, but never the champions. Major 2, that curse was about to be tested like never before, because there wasn't just one Danish trio in contention. This time, Denmark had 2 legitimate shots to finally lift the trophy.
Ask any Fortnite pro who the best creative player in Europe is, and 9 times out of 10, they'll say Marius.
The second was Marius, Vanya, and Pixxy, who were coming off a surprisingly successful Major 1, finishing 3rd. Each player coming off a year of missed expectations, inconsistency, and just plain bad luck. Marius, the trio's lone Dane, started off 2024 on fire, placing 4th in Major 1, basically out of nowhere. From there, he exploded as he battled with Peterbot and Poyo to be the first to break 40 eliminations in a solo Cash Cup game, going viral in the process.
This is Marius' 39 kill win. This is now the EU record and tied world record.
But failed to repeat his Major 1 success and did not manage to secure a spot at the Global Championship.
Oh là là! Qu'est-ce qu'il est en train de leur faire? Qu'est-ce qu'il est en train de leur faire? Qu'est-ce qu'il leur a fait?
So, no one really knew what to expect from him. Pixxy was in a similar boat. After finishing 4th in the 2023 Global Championship, a complete surprise, he was plagued by inconsistency, peaking at 8th in 2024 with the veteran Jonas, so was verging on one-hit wonder territory. Finally, Vanya, their IGL, was coming off an all-time rollercoaster of a year, after establishing himself as a bona fide superstar on EU when he won Major 2 and placing 3rd in Major 3.
Vanya now up inside, first place, looking to just further that lead, finds Vico, snap aim, finds Flowdack, he's still shooting. This man has the equivalent of a railgun. He does not stop and gets the Siphon 2, looking too magnetic for the moment.
Experiencing what must have been a crushing disappointment when he had to miss the Global Championship due to visa issues. Because of each player's past baggage, people really didn't know what to make of this team, which is why their 3rd place in Major 1 was so surprising.
Going into Grants, I don't think anyone had them in the top 3.
We have to mention, this is the most teams we've ever previewed for out of these videos, and there's good reason for that. This was an insane FNCS. So, what was the backdrop? Chapter 6 Season 2's theme was Lawless, a nice foreshadowing for the chaos in FNCS. The left side of the map had major changes with 4 new POIs, headlined by Crime City and Lone Wolf Lair. With the organized crime vibes, there was a big emphasis on gold. The Gold Rush effect, which could be obtained from gold rivers or gold splashes, gave teams a speed boost and allowed them to break builds faster. Collecting gold and a new in-game currency called Dill Bits was also critical for teams, as they could rotate to the many black markets around the map and buy mythic and exotic items such as the drum gun and a 400 HP chug jug. For ARs, teams either used the Twin Mag or Hollow Twister AR. And shotguns, teams heavily favored the Sentinel Pump, but if they weren't lucky enough to have one of them, the Outlaw Shotgun or the Infiltrator Pump were the alternatives. There were 2 main mobility items this season. The first was the baseball bat, which enhanced sprint and cancelled fall damage. The next mobility was the Sub-Zero Gauntlets. These gave players a small movement burst, but more importantly could stop fall damage after the player was already falling, unlike the baseball bat. Much like Season 1, players had few complaints, except for the elephant in the room: Storm Surge. Fortnite's way of punishing teams for not fighting became a joke this season. Teams traded Surge, which combined with tons of healing, warped how games were played. and became a prevailing narrative going into Grands. So with that, an iconic battle between Fortnite's biggest stars, with nearly $1 million in prize money, 5 spots to this year's global championship, and perhaps the pride of an entire nation on the line, was set to begin.
Let's get right into it.
The story of Game 1 was Veno, Vico, and Flickzy, who actually seemed like they spun a wheel for their spot, landing near Outlaw Oasis and third-partying a fight there.
But what's this? Vico, Veno, Flickzy, this is not Mass Meadows.
Taking out 2 teams and taking all the available loot.
This is not what anybody could have possibly expected here.
And stay hot in mid-game.
Vico, Veno, and Flickzy, it's been a minute since we've gotten to check out what they've been up to in Chicho.
But get in trouble.
Left on just 35 HP to work with. Flickzy's healthy, but they're split up.
Before Flickzy goes down as a solo.
To be claimed by the lobby. Instead, it's Comic that's gonna be brought down. Flickzy, he just extended it.
As Swizzy, Queasy, and Merstach push height.
And on the other end, it's gonna be Swizzy, it's gonna be Queasy, Merstach, and it looks like they might have just taken control.
Starting the tournament with a vintage Queasy high ground win.
Looking to take down player after player. The angles are looking insane from Swizzy as he gets one more, and Merstach and Queasy clean it up for the first.
2 games, 2 drop spots for Vico, Veno, and Flickzy, this time Whiffy Wharf. The element of surprise was a major factor in winning early game fights, but they couldn't sustain their momentum.
But Vico, for a moment, thought we'd have to worry, but it's Vico that we're talking about after all.
The all-Danish trio of Pablo, Fred, and Chino starts the game off well. Game 1 winners, Queasy, Swizzy, and Merstach, struggle in Game 2.
It's not looking good.
He's just so fixated on trying to get tags onto the players behind him.
As Vanya, Pixie, and Marius have height at the start of endgame.
Marius, Pixie, Vanya doing exactly what they need to, just completely spraying all these teams.
After a terrible Game 1, Pixx, Darm, and Demus start to cook.
Pixx, Darm, and Demus, though, they're preparing to try and shock the world, and it starts by taking out Xwiz.
Pixie gets an elimination. Malibuca, Wax, and Pingz, the last remaining trio, dominate on low ground.
Ping, Wax, Malibuca, one of the only healthy trios left to remain, left to try and threaten, because aside from iDrop as a solo, it's only Vanya and Pixie up above in the sky.
With the game coming down to a high versus low ground 2v3.
They're trying to make sure that they keep steady height overhead, but Malibuca, he might be the one to be the difference maker. Vanya's gonna fall back.
As Vanya ekes out the heal off.
They healed in the storm originally. Vanya trying to see if he can find any heal here. That's the difference maker. But unfortunately for Malibuca, Vanya is gonna out heal, securing that victory royale.
In Game 3, Vico, Flickzy, and Veno push Crime City, but go down early again.
And now it's all up to Veno as he goes down.
Malibuca, Pingz, and Wax keep rolling.
But they're not looking to let up the pressure anytime soon either. Just immediately taking out Keto. All eyes focus onto Teeny.
With Queasy down, Merstach cooks.
Lost Queasy as a duo, a dynamic duo at that. Big elimination onto Darkies. That's going to be an extended lifeline for sure. And another one for Merstach.
Eventually going down, leaving Swizzy as a solo.
To take him out. But he has other plans. Instead, it's going to be Karama on the receiving end to squeeze his way through that pullback as well. That elimination onto Akira. They never saw it coming. Swizzy, just a madman.
Wax takes out Game 2 winner Pixie.
They continue to press forward in the low ground, and Pixie.
And Malibuca takes out Chino.
These last couple of remaining opponents on the low ground, Malibuca Wax doing so much heavy lifting.
As Cammy, Seti, and Hari close out the win from height.
Vanya cleaned up amongst the mess, and Wax hoping that he can get some form of a heal off in tow. Still 5 splashes though for Cammy.
They're gonna need a insane heal off for Wax if he wants to come out on top. The perfect zones for Cammy, Seti, and Hari.
As the leaderboard begins to take shape. To start Game 4, Vico, Veno, and Flickzy fight Pixx, Darm, and Demus in a clash of titans that pump power.
And it's only Vico left standing. He's gonna have to wrap back around, play for a reboot.
Vico manages to get the reboot though, and they start to regroup and get rolling.
Big one of our more seasoned fighters.
Cooking in the endgame.
The refresh they needed as Chino goes down. This is massive.
Taking height.
Because now they are controlling the upside of this hill. They know what they have to do to maintain this high ground. Malibuca gets knocked down, walks shortly after. The whole trio disintegrated.
And closing out the win.
See, really nice game. I mean, Vico 8 eliminations in that game. 9, sorry, to end it. Mental.
Surging into the top 5 on the back of one of the strangest start to finish games in FNCS history. Veno, Vico, Flickzy set up an insane trap onto Queasy's trio.
Though Swizzy completely trapped like a mouse in a cage. He's got nowhere left to run except into the waiting hands of Veno, Vico, and Flickzy, but it's not without a fight. They'll at least get the knock onto Flickzy, and that could open the avenue, but instead Merstach immediately pounced on.
Queasy manages to get his trio up, but only temporarily.
Team and Merstach trying to get the party started. Queasy, though, he'll be the first to fall. Swizzy right after the fact. Too many optimal angles in favor of Vico's team, and they're just closing in onto Merstach. Nowhere left to run.
Vanya looks to salvage points from a weak game.
Looking to escape, but Vanya, he just has to keep reloading. He doesn't have any ammunition. At least not for those initial shots.
Thomas HD shows vintage form with the insane 1v3.
With the former leaders of height, but Thomas, he's getting absolutely pounced upon. Noya's team just dealing so much damage. Misha has fallen. Thomas will get the siphon, but he needs an opportunity to heal, and he won't be able to find it just yet. But another siphon with that elim onto Noya just extends a moment longer.
But Malibuca, Ping, and Wax keep rolling.
But it doesn't matter because Malibuca, he's taking notice. Pablo Wingo
in the inventory, but does he know there's a full trio down below looking healthier than ever?
Winning.
See if he can cause some disruption, but it's a 2 versus 1 Takata, and it's one that Ping and Wax are gonna win.
Building 100+ point lead. Vico, Veno, and Flickzy go down right away.
Risky early game when they can go down in 26th, 27th, and now the first trio to go down, basically. Those 0-point matches, it's gonna make it too difficult to keep up with a trio like Ping, Malibuca, and Wax.
So does Malibuca, Ping, and Wax. Swizzy has to solo clutch to cap off an uneven day from his trio.
Has struck in the final hours here. Swizzy, we've seen him clutch points plenty of times in the past, though. Whether or not he's able to secure them this go-round is an entirely different story, though. Just so many healthy trios behind and in front of him. Thomas, Uppel, and Panzer, they don't want to allow him to go by, but it's going to be height that takes notice.
Vanya, Marius, and Pixie cook from height.
Marius dropping. Marius trying to get fraggy with it. Gets a chunk out of Panzer's HP bar, and Panzer won't be able to finish. Marius gets the credit for it, and now Pixie on the other end looking to take out Chino and Pablo Wingu.
This is exactly what they needed to put themselves into that top 5.
First place spot.
And don't get me wrong, you don't want to get too excited considering that it is.
Many, I loved how they stopped Queasy's trio from getting high. Because that's always been a question of them this season. And last season was like...
And jump to second, building all kinds of momentum for day 2. Queasy has been miserable, as aside from game 1, it's been a weak day. Malibuca's team seemed untouchable, but on day 2, we would see one of the greatest curveballs in the game's history. Veno, Vico, and Flickzy contest Malibuca, Ping, and Wax off spawn, beginning a chaotic day 2.
Flickzy, who's under heavy fire, Wax gonna be the first of all, though. This is massive. Veno has finally opened the door.
In terms of consistency, when they were switching drop after every match, and now after knocking Malibuca.
Vico, Veno, and Flickzy keep cooking.
From interfering with where they're heading. Vico, Flickzy, Veno. They were looking for a fight, though, coming out of Monsters, and they found it in Podesai's team. Just back-to-back elims on Vico.
Marius, Pixie, and Vanya get to business.
But so far, those teams that are on the water, the kind of staggered ones, Awahalo was a solo, obviously. It's just kind of getting picked on by the rest of the lobby.
Thomas beams Queasy
to try and get some surge. Queasy wanted to heal, but Queasy's not going to get that opportunity.
Swizzy goes down soon after.
Builds from Queasy, knowing he's been eliminated.
Oh, he got taken out.
But Merstach makes plays as he looks to keep his team's hope alive.
210 below the damage threshold as a solo. Doesn't even have any shield potions, but he makes it work anyway.
He should find some options here on the rotate to do damage.
Oh, he's just gonna play spoiler for Marius's team instead.
Vanya goes down after a cheeky cook.
Real threat. Thompson's team isn't careful, and Vanya, he's just trying to stay up. Yasin.
The Chug Jug is going to be popped. Recuperate a bit more of that. Take the med mist from the opponents while he chugs.
In endgame, Vico, Veno, and Flickzy have height and close out an insane first game.
Duos now with the advantage. Vico drops down. Bam! Slam right onto his own opponent. Hibris gets knocked. Chicho falls right after.
I mean, what a statement.
And jump to second. And much to the chagrin of Malibuca's team, because people expected them to move around like day one. Veno, Vico, and Flickzy were not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Which was much more of a knockdown, drag it out fight.
Vico, down to his final build. Vico's just going for the immediate battle. Mates essentially clutched this one up. Malibuca, though, finally shutting down Vico. I would not believe it had we not just seen it.
But both get third party and Veno goes down.
It is catastrophe now for both of our leading teams.
No. Not even a single trio comes out winning.
As the chaos of day 2 unfolds, Frodoxy, Pablo, and Chino push.
This is the trio that I believe originally was going to contest Tayson today. But it looks like they're up against Fred, and it's not quite going their way as Artist gets knocked.
Malibuca manages to reboot his teammates, and they make a risky sneak play and keep rolling.
It's Thomas HD, Malibuca walks though. This is what they need. They need to find a surprise. They need to find a refresh. Malibuca hits the initial shot. Duts get a knock.
Refresh. They want the elims, and they are punishing these teams that were just slower to the rotate than themselves.
But get caught and go down.
In front of him, if he can catch a player off guard, could be a massive refresh, but he's not able to connect the crucial shot.
With his teammates down, Pixie has to solo clutch.
But he sees the knock body. He wants to go for the 1v1, but he won't get that opportunity.
Frodoxy, Chino, and Pablo cook.
Keep going more north. Frodoxy, Chino, Pablo, they're able to knock down one.
And Demus, it could be the difference maker here. Pixx will be collected.
And Frodoxy and Pablo, as a duo, take out Seti, Cammy, and Hari.
But Seti, he'll be the first to fall. He's going to play Disruptor. Cammy, Hari, now going for the backup, but Frodoxy, he might have done enough, but no. Cammy falls, and Hari's not going to be able to do it. Pablo is going to be the one to seal the deal.
Capping off a 17 elimination win and taking first place. Denmark beginning to taste FNCS victory, but the chaos was just beginning. The battle at Lone Wolf Lair continues, and Malibuca's trio is wiped again. A nightmare to start the day.
Flickzy and Veno have taken different directions though. They're gonna reunite, and Ping immediately, the moment he exposes himself, just gets eliminated for it.
Vico, Flickzy, and Veno keep rolling.
This is home field though for Vico, Flickzy, and Veno. This is where they found success in Major 1 finals.
Pablo and Frodoxy and Tino keep cooking.
Starting to run through. Their aggression's onto them. Pink knocking on the door. Is going to get knocked down. Nebs falls shortly after. Pablo, Chino, Frodoxy now continuing to build on towards zone.
As Vico takes out Darm.
But Veno, he's just trying to break through. Darm, Demus, Pixx, they are still a trio, but for how much longer? Because Vico, Flickzy, Veno, they chop them down.
Frodoxy and Veno go head to head.
This is a big casualty though for Frodoxy's team. Mayday situation, and they are out of the running here.
Vanya, Pixie, and Marius opportunistically close out the games.
You know, we're still up and going. He managed to start the heal off. He closed the gap when Tayson pushed in, and they ended up securing that win. This is going to shake up the leaderboard. 6 players, all they need to do is close this off, but Pixie has been knocked down. Chug Chug in hand, 6 splashes. Med Mist, is it going to be enough to win the heal off?
But it could be the difference maker here. Tayson now on the move. Tayson doesn't have any whites remaining. He's just trying to find Vanya. He breaks into the patch, but Tayson can't get the final shot.
Jumping to third, as the leaderboard reflects the chaos of day 2. The off-spawn battle that defined the chaos of the day continues. After a painfully slow stalemate to start the game, Vico, Flickzy, and Veno get in a costly fight.
Flickzy actually gonna get turn and burn, faded and benign.
Oh no.
While Moneymaker had them distracted. And what once looked like such a promising situation is now completely turned against them. Veno will fall. It's only Vico left standing, and this leaderboard, that's gonna put a big smile onto Malibuca's face.
Pablo, Chino, and Frodoxy keep rolling.
Gotta give props to Frodoxy, Chino. And Pablo, though, they have been doing an amazing job getting eliminations leading up to these end games. Not just looking for tags from afar, but actually being able to convert these fights.
Be a massive momentum swing after that last fight, and Savage just added to the tally. One more elimination, another one possibly here in Reason. And the deal.
Pixie and Vanya try to make the best of an endgame without Marius. Pablo and Chino also have to cook as a duo.
Vanya's trio is incredibly low. They still have to put on a performance. Zangy could be that refresh that they need. The chase goes into zone. The shot is not able to connect. Pablo, he might have just trapped himself. He goes down.
He runs out in front of him, who's incredibly low, and Zangy, he picks up where he last left off. Zangy will finally be eliminated here, but Chino, he has to just keep it pushing.
After a slow day, Queasy, Merstach, and Swizzy are on height.
Those final blows alongside Merstach. Merstach just threading the needle, finding tags here and there. Needs to get another one. Volko eliminated here for Merstach.
But it's Pixx, Darm, and Demus managing to steal the win.
But congratulations to Pixx, Darm, and Demus. Not only were they able to revive their teammate in those last moments of the end game,
and join the rest of the lobby. Darm's gonna fall. Queasy could do it. He needs to just get this final shot, but the siphon won't save him. Pixx, Darm, and Demus hold on just long enough.
The off-spawn battle that at this point is ruining two FNCSs gets back to business. But it is mostly a stalemate. Wox eliminates Shark as their team makes a push.
Although Wox now is gonna pick up an elimination here. Trying to see if they can catch Wox and Ping here. Just kind of snuck in the corner, but Noah's gonna go down. From the 2v2 to now Wox and Ping with 3 elims on the board.
Pixx, Darm, and Demus stay hot after their win,
causing disruption here throughout this late game. Tidy getting knocked down.
Pixie, Vanya, and Marius keep pushing for first.
Vanya is, though, and we know they like going for wins.
Poor Fernando.
Vico on height takes out Chino from the first place team before major placement points kick in.
That is until Chino gets knocked in the process, though. Vico saw him in the final moment.
The rest of the trio gets dropped and taken down.
Demus, Darm, and Pixx don't realize where he's at. He wants to see if he can get a siphon tag in, but it's not going to be the case. Runs in straight into the hands of Avahalo, who was just hiding in the backside.
Sensing an opportunity, Pixie pushes height.
The whole trio being eliminated. Now's the chance for Marius, Pixie, and Vanya to push themselves closer to that first place spot on the leaderboard. All they need to do is close out this match.
Pixie, gotta be careful, but Tripburn has been knocked. Vanya credited with that one, just waiting for the siphon to tick over. Finds another elimination even, and they just have full control of height. So much material, so much to invest. The world is their oyster here in game 11.
And starts cooking.
Yeah, Pixie, if they find that 4th victory royale, and it starts with the elimination on to get us. The knock gonna be the opening. Pixie with a massive shot though onto Venus.
With Marius down, they close out a massive game.
There's 6 total players. Looks like Cammy's still on low. Shot gets connected from Pixie onto Frenic. Gets the elimination alongside it. Seti, Cammy now, a duo down below.
Needing some heroics from Vanya.
And Pixie waiting for that perfect shot. He's got to be as precise as ever, though. He can't let this one slip, but Seti, Cammy, Artie, they're not looking to lose another one. They want their victory royale. Vanya gonna manage to jump ahead. Seti trying to run back. Seti don't get away, though. And Vanya, right as we thought that Cammy, Seti, and Ari might have a chance to close this one out, it is shut down. That dream just slipping away from them.
They steal first, up 6 with a game to go. A big weekend for Danish Fortnite, who seemed all but guaranteed the win. It was just a question of which trio, as the point gap was big enough between 2nd and 3rd to call this a 2-horse race.
I don't even know who I think is going to do it, to be honest with you, because both of these teams have been so good at making it to these end games consistently, Minnie.
Ferdoxy goes down early.
Ferdoxy, Chino, under some heavy pressure.
But Chino cooks.
For his escape methods here. Oppo was trying to chase Chino, it appears.
Meanwhile, Ferdoxy is rebooted, but goes down again. And an unfortunate start for a team that needed a massive game to win.
Ferdoxy's been fully eliminated. Pablo Chino now left as a duo.
Malibuca gets his final revenge on Veno's trio.
Probably aware of the fact that the double revive's going off. They're just looking for a pre-edit play onto Veno, and Malibuca opening the doorway. Veno gonna be eliminated.
Going as far as hunting down Vico.
Gotta be a smile on their face. The trio that turned their tournament upside down, now eliminating them in the last match. They are the trio that is directly above them on the leaderboard as well.
Chino goes down too. All hope was left with Pablo Wingu.
But Chino has fallen. It's only Pablo with 11 builds. This has got to be the craziest solo clutch, getting the knock onto Reason.
Who goes down, ending their bid for a championship.
He needs this elimination, but is gonna ultimately go down. They are 2 points ahead of Vanya, Pixie, and Marius.
Meanwhile, Vanya, Marius, and Pixie are in a prime position on height, doing enough to clinch the Major 2 championship.
Pixie, Vanya, they're the only two left standing. Pixie gonna be dropped. Vanya finds an elimination onto Cammy.
As Thomas, Upal, and Panzer take out Pixx, Darm, and Demus in the final game.
They need the victory royale. It was Darm, Demus, Pixx. They were the ones above them holding the spot away, but with that massive pump from Thomas HD, now just one more shot needing to connect. They have done it.
Vanya, Pixie, and Marius winning one of the most chaotic grand finals ever.
Well, it is a great honor to reveal your FNCS Europe Major 2 champions. It's Marius, Pixie, and Vanya.
Let's go.
Wow.
Doing it for Denmark, for Ukraine, and Sweden. This is a European trio for the ages.
Pixie, his first, and an amazing bounce back, and his best results since the 2023 Global Championship. After 27 tries, Denmark finally had its championship. Vanya, Marius, and Pixie, 3 players who battled inconsistency, missed chances, and crushing disappointment, stood on top of EU Fortnite. In the most chaotic FNCS in history, they gave Denmark its long-awaited redemption. Chino, Fredoxy, and Pablo placed second, coming so close but earning their spot at LAN. Pixx, Darm, and Demus, on the back of a strong day 2, continue their insane rise and earn their LAN spot. After such a strong day 1, Malibuca, Ping, and Wox fall to 4th, with the pre-tournament favorite Queasy, Swizzy, and Merstach ending in 5th but earning their spot at LAN, with Queasy saying he never quite felt right. The Veno, Vico, and Flickzy Chaos strategy saw them finish in 6th. And finally, Tayson earns his return to LAN with Chicho and Haris. Iconic players like Thomas HD, Pink, Cammy, and Seti narrowly missing globals, with Cammy and Seti announcing going into a make-or-break Season 3 that after 4 years together, they have split, shaking the region. This Grand Finals continued a trend of randomness on EU. FNCSs are hard to predict, new winners each FNCS are the norm. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." If that is not true for each winner and the country of Denmark, what is? Like, subscribe, and check out our other videos.